Alright, welcome back to Saturday again, and it's Demon of the Week. So we're going to look at Lucifuge Rofocale.
Welcome to my channel. You are entering the world of magic and mysticism with your host, Lee W. Johnson. Keep the lights on and help improve the channel by becoming a supporter for just $2.99 per month. Hit the join button.
Okay, so Lucifuge Rofocale, or Rofocale. Starting with some correspondences. Direction is west, planet Pluto, metal, platinum, silver, element water, colors black, dark blue, dark green, dark grey, dark silver, had to look that one up, dark purple, and metallic black. Incense, copal, patchouli, agar wood, frankincense, cinnamon, musk, ipomea, jalapa. And flower, I'm not sure why this is separate, but it's listed as Maori. The flower could be ipomea, jalapa, which is morning glory. It's one of the morning glories. I think ipomea jalapa, if I'm not mistaken, is the heavenly blue. But anyway, just beware working with the morning glories. A lot of people will say that only the heavenly blue is entheogenic, but they all have some effect on different levels. Anyway, carrying on. Other correspondences: wild rose, black olive juice, olive oil, alcohol, mandrake, sage, mullein, hibiscus and sencha tea, coins, and drawings of him. Okay, the N, Ayen Tassa Valokur Lucifuge Rofocale, or Rofocale, depending on how you prefer to pronounce that. So for me, personally, Lucifuge is the evening star, the twin brother to Lucifer, who is the morning star. This would be very much the equivalent to Phosphorus and Hesperus from Greek mythology. And this makes Lucifuge the entity that I have always worked with, which I've known as Noctifer. And I worked with Noctifer and the opposite, the twin aspects of Lucifer for many years before I actually discovered the name Lucifuge Rofocale. So, I definitely see the associations of being the twin of Lucifer, being the evening star to the morning star, associated with the aspects of the planet Venus, etc., etc. Carrying on from that, the name Lucifuge Rofocale, can't say that today, has two components. So there's Lucifuge, which means one who flees from light, and that's a combination of lux, meaning light, and fugio, meaning to flee. And the second part, Rofocale or Rofocale, which is usually considered to be an anagram of the name Foculor, which is the 41st demon of the Ars Goetia. I have also seen a mention of this part of the name Rofocale to be a corruption of the name Raphael. So there's also that. But the interpretation of Lucifuge as one who flees from light, again, speaks to him being Noctifer, the evening star. I'm sure a lot of people will consider that to be, the aspect of fleeing from the light of God and all such things. In my interpretation, that just really means the evening star. It's the planet going down in the evening, or going down in the west in the evening, at the evening time. The evening star. Okay, so it's not fleeing from the light as such. It's just going into darkness. It prefers the darkness. All right, so Lucifuge Rofocale's origins trace back to a grimoire called Le Dragon Rouge, or the Red Dragon, also known as the Grand Grimoire. Nobody really knows when this grimoire was published, there are various dates suggested, such as 1421 or 1521 and 1522, as well as the British historian Owen Davies. He suggested it was first published in 1702. However, Eliphas Levi suggested that the contemporary edition of Le Dragon Rouge is a counterfeit of a much earlier version of a Grand Grimoire. So who knows? Maybe all the dates are correct. Maybe the original version was 1421, and there were various versions that were created over the centuries, resulting in the one we now have. But the Grand Grimoire does give the following description of Lucifuge: the infernal prime minister who possesses the power that Lucifer gave him over worldly riches and treasures. He has beneath him Baal, Agares, and Marbas, along with thousands of other spirits and subordinates. His domain lies over worldly goods, wealth, and treasures, making him a figure of interest for those seeking material prosperity through occult means. Jehannam also adds, his nature is apt for baleful rites and the diffusion of the curses placed upon you. Lucifuge rules over money, luck, chemistry, prosperity, and ambition. Considered to be the Klippos occult librarian and scholar, he rules hatred, execration, magic, war, revenge, strength, victory, courage, and anger. As a slightly psychic vampiric entity, he can steal the magical power of an occultist plotting for the harm of the Satanist. In the anti-cosmic satanic text Liber Azerate, it characterizes Lucifuge as the living darkness, whose role includes diminishing the influence of the Abrahamic deity on society and aiding witches in transcending the constraints of causality. Manuscript of the Temple of Black Light describes Lucifuge as the revealer of all the hidden treasures of the night side and as one who purifies the darkness illuminated by the black light. S. Connolly has mentioned working with Lucifuge to manifest more disciplined working habits for herself. And also in the introduction to her Book of Agaras, she describes a dream that she had where, this was during the time when she was working with Lucifuge, where she was actually sitting at her dining room table with an older man who had silver hair and eyes, and he told her he was going to show her something sacred, and he put a black leather book in front of her. And as she opened it, she noticed that the pages were made of mirrors, and she was looking at herself. And I mean, if we consider, a journal is but a reflection of ourselves. So I thought that this was a great dream that she had, but it obviously led to the creation of the Book of Agaras, and the working with that, and obviously the explanation of how to create that in the Book of Agaras that she wrote. So pick up that book. Great book to read. Great concepts. Great way to actually do workings themselves. And that's really Lucifuge. As I said, in my own workings, Lucifuge is really the evening star. It's the whereas Lucifer is the morning star in the east, Lucifuge is the evening star in the west. As the sun rotates and the planets rotate and everything else. So really the evening star. That's the only way or only aspect that I work with Lucifuge myself. But if you do want more on that particular aspect, Hesperus from the Greek mythology is a great source to go and have a look at. But if it's on a more personal, material basis, as I said, his dominion lies over worldly goods, wealth, and treasures. So, there's that aspect to him. And that's specifically from the Grand Grimoire, where it states that Lucifer gave him power over worldly riches and treasures. Okay, so there's that aspect to him that you can work with. All right, and that's really it for Lucifuge Rofocale. And I'll see you next week. Have a good one. Cheers for now. Bye bye.